Najprej, spoštovane in spoštovani, dovolite prijazen pozdrav v mojem imenu in imenu organizatorja tega večera. Sem Blaž Jezeršek iz župnije Pirniče, to je v nadškofiji Ljubljana. Ker sem za temo podiplomskega študija pred leti izbral islam in odnose med islamskim in krščanskim svetom, se je organizatorjem tega večera zdelo primerno, da me povabijo zraven, ko bomo poslušali, razmišljali in se pogovarjali o islamu kot o izzivu sodobne evropske družbe. V posebno veselje mi je, da lahko tokrat v naši sredi pozdravim dva eminentna poznavalca tega področja, profesorja Dragota Karla Ocvirka in gospoda Talha Ahmada. Mimogrede, Talha je ime, Ahmad pa priimek. Drago Ocvirk je zaslužni profesor Ljubljanske univerze, rodil se je leta 1951 v Celju. Velik del življenja je preživel kot duhovnik in član misijonske družbe. Po študiju teologije v Ljubljani in Parizu je doktoriral in postal najprej docent, nato pa profesor osnovnega bogoslovja, verstev in misiologije na ljubljanski teološki fakulteti. Če tu dovolite eno osebno noto, bil je tudi moj profesor in mentor, ter v tistem času daleč najprodornejši mislec na teološki fakulteti. Pred leti je misionaril in predaval tudi na Salomonovih otokih. Je avtor več knjig in številnih člankov. Več let je vodil misijonsko središče Slovenije in ustanovil ter urejal revijo Misijonska obzorja. Tokrat nas bo nagovoril s svojim razmišljanjem o razdrobljenosti islamskega kulturno-duhovnega okolja ter napetostih, ki se porajajo med številnimi frakcijami v islamskem svetu. Skušal bo ugotoviti, kako se ta napetost odraža med islamskimi verskimi skupnostmi v Sloveniji, ter odgovoriti na vprašanje, kaj danes mlade Evropejce priteguje v islam. Naš drugi gost danes je Talha Ahmad. Rojen in vzgojen je bil na Nizozemskem, sicer pa so njegovi starši tja prišli iz Pakistana. Gospod Talha je že od 15. leta starosti član in prostovoljec mednarodne muslimanske skupnosti Ahmadija. Preden je prišel v Slovenijo, je v okviru omenjene skupnosti deloval v Nemčiji, na Nizozemskem, v Ugandi, v Pakistanu in Veliki Britaniji. Od leta 2013 je predstavnik mednarodne muslimanske skupnosti Ahmadija v Sloveniji. Trenutno deluje kot koordinator in predsednik Društva za informiranje o islamu. Mednarodne muslimanske skupnosti Ahmadija, Mednarodna muslimanska skupnost Ahmadija je bila ustanovljena leta 1889 in je danes navzoča v skoraj 200 državah po svetu, torej skoraj povsod. Imajo nekje med 15 in 20 milijoni članov. Njen sedež je trenutno v Veliki Britaniji, v Londonu. Člani skupnosti verjamejo, da je Mesija, ki ste ga napovedala sam prerok Mohamed in Koran, dejansko prišel med ljudi v osebi Mirze Gulama Ahmada iz Kadijana v Pandžabu, ki je živel v drugi polovici 19. stoletja. Z izrazitim poudarjanjem in zavzemanjem za temeljne in resnične nauke islama je le tega očistil fanatičnih prepričanj in praks. Skladno z učenjem njihovega ustanovitelja tudi člani skupnosti Ahmadija kategorično zavračajo kakršnekoli oblike terorizma. Od leta 1974 je ahmadijsko gibanje izobčeno iz islama, njegovi pripadniki pa razglašeni za nevernike. Gospoda Talha Ahmada vabim, da nam spregovori in nam skuša pojasniti, kako, če sploh, so islamske vrednote kompatibilne z zahodnim svetom. Mr. Talha.
Thank you. Good evening, and may the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. So my topic is Islamic values and the West. So I'm going to talk about whether Islamic values are compatible with Western values.
Torej, lepo pozdravljeni vsi skupaj. Njegova tema je islamske vrednote in vrednote zahodnega sveta. Spregovoril nam bo o vrednotah in poskušal predstaviti, kje so povezave med tema dvema svetovoma in predvsem poskušal odgovoriti na vprašanja, ki bi mogoče zanimale mlajšo generacijo.
So in recent years, this question has grown very strong. People, they ask whether Muslims are capable to live in the West, whether they are capable to live in the West with tolerance, to coexist with people from different religions in the West, and whether Islam itself allows Muslims to live in the West, and whether Islam allows Muslims to support democracy, to support human rights, to support freedom.
Torej, to vprašanje se v zadnjih letih zelo pogosto in predvsej pogosteje pojavlja. Ali lahko muslimani živijo v zahodnem svetu, ali lahko živijo z enakimi vrednotami, ali jim islam dovoljuje demokracijo, svobodno življenje.
So when we look at certain Muslim countries, we won't find such values of freedom, of democracy, of justice, while in the West, such values are the basic fundaments of its civilization.
Torej, ko pogledamo nekatere islamske države, ne bomo našli teh vrednot svobode in delovanja, ki pa so v bistvu bistvene v državah zahodnega sveta.
So yes, there is a huge difference between Islamic countries and Western countries. But you have to remember that Islamic countries, they don't represent the religion of Islam. The religion of Islam is represented by two sources of Islam, and that's the Quran, the Holy Book, and the life of Mohammed.
Torej, vprašanje je, ali lahko ljudje muslimanskega sveta živijo v zahodnem delu, ampak ne smemo enačiti islama z muslimanskimi državami. Torej, dva temeljna dela oziroma sporočila islama sta, could you repeat that, please?
So there are two things which represent the religion of Islam, two sources.
Torej, dva vira, ki predstavljata islam. Two sources?
Yeah. Two sources. One is the Holy Book, Quran, and one is the life of Mohammed.
Torej, sveta knjiga, Koran, in druga knjiga, ki opisuje Mohamedovo življenje.
So in order to understand the Islamic values, we have to look at the sources of Islam. As I said before, it's Quran and it's the life of Mohammed. So,
torej, da lahko razumemo islam, moramo pogledati oba vera. Torej, Koran in Mohamedovo življenje.
So the Quran is the holy book of Muslims, which was revealed to Muhammad in a period of 23 years. And until the day today, it's still the same for 1400 years.
Torej, Koran je knjiga, ki je bila razodeta Mohamedu v obdobju 23 let. In to velja še do danes enako.
And the second source, which I mentioned, was the life of Muhammad. Muhammad is the founder of Islam. He's the prophet sent by God, we believe, as Muslims. And I'm going to present you examples of his life, of his sayings, of his actions. And that's why the Quran and the life of Muhammad, these are the most important sources of Islam.
Torej, drugi vir je Mohamedovo življenje. Mohamed je bil prerok, ki je bil ustanovitelj islama in želi nam predstaviti njegove besede, njegova dejanja, odseke iz njegovega življenja. Torej, poudaril pa je, pomembna sta torej dva vera, Koran in Mohamedovo življenje.
So let's start with freedom. Freedom is one of the most important value here in the West.
Torej, začel bo z svobodo. Svoboda je ena izmed najpomembnejših vrednot zahodnega sveta.
But what does Islam say about freedom? Islam says that every person is free to say what he wants, to believe what he wants, and therefore Islam advocates freedom of speech, freedom of belief, and freedom of conscience.
Torej, kaj pravi islam o svobodi? Islam svobodo podpira in tudi podpira svobodo govora, svobodo odločitve in svobodo promocije lastnih misli.
And there is a verse in the Quran from chapter 2, verse 256, which supports this idea. The verse says, there is no compulsion in religion. There is no force in religious matters. You are not allowed to force anyone in religious matters.
Torej, v Koranu je tudi odsek, ki govori o svobodi in predvsem to, da, oziroma govori o religiji. Religija ni obvezna, religije ne moremo nikomur usiliti, zato tudi spodbujajo v bistvu odločitev za lastno religijo.
So if we start, for example, with freedom of speech, the difference in Islam and the difference in Western countries of freedom of speech is this, that Islam seeks to unite people. Islam wants to bring people together. Therefore, the speech which Islam teaches is to promote respect. It's a speech which is good to others, which is a speech which is truthful.
Torej, če pogledamo svobodo govora, islam bi rad združil vse ljudi. Spodbuja svobodo govora na ta način, da se ljudje podpirajo, se povezujejo, se spodbujajo med sabo.
But if we look at the freedom of speech which we have here in the West, sometimes people, they say anything or everything what is in their mind, and this can cause abuse, insult, it can cause division in society. Therefore, the difference is that Islam wants to unite people with freedom of speech, and this is the main purpose of freedom of speech in Islam, that it uses its speech by respecting each other, by doing good to each other. So,
torej, če pogledamo svobodo govora pri zahodnem svetu, pa se pogosto dogaja to, da ljudje spregovorijo točno to, kar imajo v mislih, ne razmislijo, se pogosto med sabo prizadanejo in lahko nastanejo prepiri, lahko razne zlorabe. Pri islamu pa to ni tako. Islam pa spodbuja svobodo govora, da bi združil vse ljudi, da bi se med sabo povezali in spodbujali.
So, in Islam, you can say whatever you want, and at the same time, Islam doesn't prescribe any punishment for what you say. There is no punishment in the Quran for blasphemy.
Torej, pri islamu lahko izražiš svoje mnenje, lahko rečeš karkoli in zato ni predpisana v Koranu nobene kazni oziroma sankcije. In tudi zdaj bo spregovoril o bogokletju.
Of course, Islam condemns such freedom of speech, which includes abuse and mock, but it doesn't prescribe any punishment, as I said. For example, in recent years, we had the incident of Charlie Hebdo. We had Theo van Gogh, who made a movie. They all had their freedom to express what they think. And Islam doesn't allow any worldly punishment for them. Although we do condemn it, we do feel insulted, but we are not allowed to attack them with violence. Islam does not allow this.
Torej, pri islamu je možna svoboda govora in zato ni predpisane nobene kazni, ampak seveda te ljudi obsojajo. Torej, recimo bil je primer, ko so posneli film, ki je govoril proti islamu oziroma ga predstavljal v takšni slabi luči, in seveda se pripadniki čutijo užaljene, ampak po nobeni zapovedi v Koranu jih ne morejo fizično kaznovati zaradi tega.
So in response, Islam says to those who insult, for example, who mock the Prophet, who mock the Quran, who mock God, Islam says the following. In chapter 25, it says that when ignorant people address you, you have to respond with peace. So if anyone mocks the religion of Islam or insults the Prophet, Islam teaches that you should respond with peace.
Torej, islam uči, da če se nekdo norčuje iz tvojega Boga, po slabem izgovarja ime, se moraš odzvati z mirom, torej na miren način. In to je tudi zapisano s citatom v Koranu.
I will give you an example of the life of our Prophet Mohammed. When he used to live in Medina, there was a person called Abdullah bin Ubay.
Torej, ko je prerok Mohamed živel v Indiji, Medini, se je srečal z osebo
Abdullah, yeah. So that person, he used to mock and insult the Prophet all the time. And once he went so far that his son, Abdullah's son, he said, "Oh Prophet, my father, he's mocking you so much, he's insulting you. Please allow me to kill him." And the Prophet didn't allow him. The Prophet said, "No, you're not allowed." And later, when that person who was mocking the Prophet, Abdullah, when he died, out of respect, the Prophet performed his funeral prayer. So you can see from this example and also from the verse which I quoted before that we are not allowed to take the law in our hands and respond with violence to mockery or to insult, but instead we should respond with peace, as the Quran, the verse which I quoted, says.
Torej, ko se je prerok srečal s tem Abdullahom, se je on zelo norčeval iz njega, grdo govoril o njem, vedno, ko ga je srečal. In te stvari so še tako daleč, da se je sin od Abdullaha ponižal, šel do preroka in rekel, to je preveč, dovoli mi, da ubijem svojega lastnega očeta. Vendar prerok Mohamed mu tega ni dovolil, ker je rekel, da pravi odgovor na to je mir, da Koran tega ne uči. In potem, ko je ta Abdullah umrl, je prerok v bistvu na njegovem pogrebu še sam izgovoril molitev za njega. Torej, iz tega primera res vidimo, da Koran ne uči, da se bi morali na bogokletje, na žalitve odzvati z nasiljem, ampak z mirom.
So the next point I would like to talk about is apostasy or freedom of religion, and this is something very important which we have here in the West.
Torej, naslednja točka, o kateri bi rad spregovoril, je odpadništvo oziroma svoboda o izbiri religije. To je tudi zelo močna točka, ki se pogosto pojavlja tukaj na Zahodu.
For example, if we look at certain Muslim countries, for example in Iran, according to their law, if somebody changes his faith from Islam to another religion, he should be punished by death.
Torej, če pogledamo nekatere islamske države, recimo Iran, če nekdo pristopi iz islamske vere v drugo, bi kazen naj bila smrt.
And the same thing also, some similar laws we have also in other countries. In some other countries, religious minorities don't have the equal rights as the majority of the population to which religion they belong. So there is no justice between different religious groups in certain Muslim countries.
Torej, tudi so druge države še s podobnimi primeri in tudi nimajo vse verske manjšine oziroma skupine enakih pravic v enakih državah.
But in order to understand Islam, we have to look at what the Quran says. The Quran says very clearly that every person is free to believe whatever he or she wants. For example, in chapter 109, it says, "For you, your religion, and for my religion." In chapter 18, it says that if you want, you believe. If you don't want, you don't believe. And then also in chapter 2, it says there is no compulsion in religion. There is no force in religion.
Torej, da bi razumeli islam, moramo pogledati nekaj odsekov iz Korana, predvsem to, da zate tvoja religija, tvoje prepričanje in zame naj bo moja religija, potem tudi, da v veri, v religiji ni nobene obveze, ni nobenih prisile. in da tudi vsak naj v bistvu verjame to, kar sam želi, naj se sam odloči, v kaj želi verjeti.
So from these verses we find out that Islam advocates for freedom of religion, and Islam hasn't prescribed any worldly punishment for someone who leaves the religion. So if a Muslim wants to leave his religion, he's free to do so according to Islam.
Torej, iz teh citatov lahko vidimo, da pri islamu je svoboda odločanja, se lahko vsaka oseba sama odloči, v kaj želi verovati, in da lahko tudi izstopi iz te religije, če želi, brez kakršnih koli sankcij oziroma posledic.
So another quite often asked question is democracy, whether Islam is compatible with democracy. And
torej, drugo, tudi pogosto zastavljeno vprašanje je vprašanje demokracije. Ali se islam lahko strinja z demokracijo, ali lahko demokracija obstaja v islamu.
So what does Islam say about statecraft? What does Islam say about governance? Islam says that the people have the free choice to choose any system of rule they want, although Islam teaches two principles. The first principle is consultation, that you consult with one another. And the second principle which Islam teaches for the rule of governance is absolute justice.
Torej, poglejmo, kaj pravi islam o državni ureditvi, o tem. Predvsem se posveča na dve točki, in sicer to, da se je treba vedno posvetovati z nekom, torej posvetovanje, pogovor, in pa
justice.
In absolutno pravico.
So if we look at the Quran, chapter 42, and I quote, "And whose affairs are decided by mutual consultation." So this verse is emphasizing that we should consult one another, and this is the very basic, or the basis of democracy. And consulting one another is actually another form of voting, and people should have the say of the administration of the state. And this is exactly what this verse also is telling us.
Torej, citat iz Korana je, da čigavi odnosi, čigavi odločitve so v bistvu določene z skupnimi dogovori, skupnimi pogovori. In to predvsem zelo poudarja torej to posvetovanje med seboj, kar je pa v bistvu druga oblika volitev oziroma izvolitve. In ljudje bi naj imeli pravico soodločati pri državi oziroma državni ureditvi, v kateri živijo.
And the second principle which Islam teaches regarding governance is absolute justice. For example, in chapter 4, it says that when you will rule over people, rule with justice.
Torej, druga točka, o kateri govorimo, je torej ta absolutna pravičnost, pravica. In predvsem v 4. poglavju pravi, da ko bo nekdo vladal nad ljudmi, mora vladati pravično.
So the Quran very strongly commands us to observe justice. Now I will quote a few verses in which we can see that the emphasis on justice is very strong.
Torej, Koran nam kaže, da moramo se res zelo posvetiti pravici, da moramo to vzeti v obzir, in nam bo predstavil par močnih odstavkov iz Korana, citatov.
So in chapter 5 it says that let not a people's hatred incite you to act otherwise than justice.
Torej, v 5. poglavju pravi, da naj vas človeško sovraštvo drugih ljudi naj ne zapelje na pot drugo od pravice.
In chapter, there are many verses, but I will skip a few because of the time limit.
Torej, ima veliko verzov, ampak nekaj bo preskočil.
In chapter 4 it says that be strict in observing justice, even though it is against yourself, it is against your parents, or it is against your relatives. And this verse was declared as one of the greatest expression of justice by Harvard University.
Torej, v 4. poglavju pravi, da ko govorimo o pravici, ko opazujemo pravico, moramo biti zelo strogi. In če tudi gremo čez same sebe, čez svoje starše oziroma čez svoje sorodnike. In to je bilo na Harvardski univerzi razglašeno kot najmočnejši citat, ki govori o pravičnosti, pravici.
So these are the two principles which Islam is emphasizing: consultation and justice. And so it gives people the free choice to choose whatever kind of governance they want. For example, if they choose democracy, if they choose monarchy, it's up to them. Both of them have these two principles. But if you look at dictatorship, Islam doesn't allow that because it doesn't have these two principles of justice and consultation.
Torej, Islam promovira te dve močni točki, ta dva močna principa pravice in posvetovanja oziroma pogovora. In tako si lahko v bistvu pripadniki islamske vere sami izbirajo, pod katero državno ureditvijo želijo biti. Je to demokracija, je to monarhija, vendar, če pogledamo pa diktatorstvo, pa ne sovpada s temi principi in diktatorstvo tudi ni po principih oziroma ga Islam ne podpira.
One of the verses which I cited before is from chapter 4, verse 59, and this verse advocates for the complete separation of state and religion.
Torej, govoril je tudi o citatu iz 4. poglavja, ki v bistvu promovira to, da bi morala biti država in religija strogo ločeni.
So the verse says, when you rule between people, rule with justice. It doesn't say rule with Islamic law, it doesn't say rule with Sharia law or with Quranic law, but it says rule with justice.
Torej, vers pravi, da ko vladate nad ljudmi, vladajte z pravico. Ne govori, vladajte po islamskih zapovedih, ampak s pravico.
And this same verse also says when you rule among people. So it doesn't say when you rule among Muslims, it says people. So this verse actually advocates a separation between state and religion so that every person, regardless of his faith or her faith, can freely practice her religion or his religion.
Ta isti vers govori tudi o tem, da ko vladate nad ljudmi, torej ne ko vladate nad islamskim ljudstvom, ampak nad vsemi. Torej tudi promovira, da se lahko sami odločamo za religijo, za državo, v kateri želimo živeti, ne glede na našo versko prepričanje oziroma pripadnost.
And I will give you an example of the life of Prophet Muhammad. When he was in Medina, first he used to live in Mecca for about 13 years, then he migrated to Medina.
Torej, primer iz Mohamedovega življenja, ko je živel v Medini. Najprej je živel v Meki nekaj let, potem pa se je preselil, migriral v Medino.
And when he came to Medina, Medina was a city of different tribes. They had tribes they had Jewish tribes, they had pagan tribes, they had Christian tribes. So when he came to Medina, the people of those different tribes, they decided that Muhammad should be the head of the city. He should be the ruler of that city.
Torej, ko je prišel Mohamed v Medino, je bilo tam več različnih plemen, ljudstev. Tam so bili Judi, bili so pogani. In ti so se med seboj odločili, da bi Mohamed prevzel vodstvo, da bi on postal njihov vodilni lik.
And this is also exactly the same moment when the first constitution was ever written in the world.
In to je tudi moment, ko je bila zapisana prva ustava na svetu.
Among those different people of different religions.
Med tistimi različnimi ljudmi in različnimi verstvi.
So the thing I want to say about separation of religion and state is this, that when Muhammad was the ruler of that city, and whenever there was a problem or an issue among the people, they used to come to Muhammad so that he can judge so that he can judge regarding that situation, what happened, for example, if there was a problem. And
Torej, ko je bil, rad bi povedal, ko je bil Mohamed tam med tistimi ljudstvi, so vsi hodili k njemu. Ali so imeli kakšen problem, ne glede iz katerega plemena, iz katere religije, so hodili k njemu, da jim je on pomagal, da je on odločal.
So Prophet Muhammad used to judge, or he used to settle those problems according to those individuals' faith. He didn't used to judge them according to Islamic faith. He used to ask them, do you want me to settle your problem according to Jewish law, according to Islamic law, or according to secular arbitration?
Torej, Mohamed se je odločal glede na versko pripadnost ljudi, ki so prišli k njemu. Vprašal je, ali želite razsodbo po judovskem zakonu, po vašem poganskem, po sekularnem, in oni so se potem odločili.
So from the verse I cited before and from the example I gave from Muhammad's life, we find out that Islam advocates for a secular type of government. And secularism means absolute justice must be practiced for every person belonging to any faith.
Torej, iz citata, ki smo ga pravkar obravnavali, lahko vidimo, da islam v bistvu podpira sekularizem. Sekularizem pomeni, da je to pravica za vse ljudi.
So if Islam advocates for democratic values, if Islam teaches that religion and state should be separated, then what about Sharia law?
Torej, če islam spodbuja in podpira demokracijo, če spodbuja in podpira to, da mora biti vera in država strogo ločena, kaj pa potem šeriatsko pravo?
Sharia is an Arabic word which means a path or a path to living water.
Torej, šerija je beseda, ki v bistvu pomeni pot oziroma živa voda.
So in religious terminology, Sharia means a path which leads to God. Or
Torej, šerija pomeni v bistvu pot oziroma pot k živi vodi, torej pot, ki vodi k Bogu.
So Sharia law means a path which leads to God, or a spiritual path which leads to God.
Torej, šerija pomeni pot, ki vodi k Bogu, duhovna pot, ki nas pripelje k Bogu.
So, in fact, every religion has its own Sharia. Judaism has its own Sharia. Christianity has its own Sharia. So the main thing is that Sharia is a combination of teachings, commandments, laws, principles, which put them together. And then we have a Sharia, which is a system of spiritual and moral reformation.
Torej, če pogledamo iz te smeri, ima vsako verstvo, vsaka religija ima svojo šerijo. Judovsko prepričanje, katoliško, kristjansko. To je skupek nekakšnih zapovedi, smernic določene vere.
Sometimes people they think that Muslims they want to impose Sharia law in the West. Yes, there are some Muslims who want to impose Sharia law, but according to Islamic teachings, their thought of imposing Sharia law to other people or to the West is totally wrong.
Torej, prepričanje je, da želijo muslimani prakticirati šeriatsko pravo, ko pridejo v naš svet. Torej, to jih uči njihovo, oni so prepričani, da to morajo početi, saj so oni pripadniki tega verstva, islama.
But Islam rejects this claim. Sharia law cannot be imposed to any person or any society, because if this would be, then this would be against the teachings of Islam, because the Quran says there is no compulsion in religion. You are not allowed to force your beliefs on other people.
Ampak po Koranu ne smemo svojih lastnih prepričanj vsiljevati drugim. Torej, po Koranu oni tega, če kdo to mogoče počne, ne smejo početi. Koran tega ne spodbuja, islam tega ne podpira. Šeriatsko pravo je namenjeno pripadnikom islamske vere in ne ostalim.
In the Quran, in chapter 88, it says that Muhammad is just an admonisher. He is not a guardian. This means that Muhammad is not allowed to impose his beliefs on other people. He's just an advisor, he's just an admonisher. And this is very important to know, because from this verse we can see that no Muslim should be allowed to impose Islamic beliefs upon others. If Muhammad wasn't allowed, then why are other Muslims allowed?
Torej v Koranu piše, da je bil Mohamed samo svetovalec, samo nekakšen prenos in ni mu bilo dovoljeno vsiljevati islamske vere oziroma prepričanj ostalim ljudem. In če ni bilo dovoljeno Mohamedu, zakaj bi lahko bilo to dovoljeno ostalim? Torej, islam tega ne podpira.
Okay, I just got the notice that I still have 5 minutes left, so
Torej, imamo samo še 5 minut.
I will go very quickly. Another thing which Islam says, that Islam teaches loyalty or obedience to the law of the land.
Torej, islam uči tudi zvestobo oziroma ponižnost zakona države.
Quran says in chapter 4, O ye who believe, obey God, obey the messenger, and obey who is ever in authority of you. So this means that whoever has authority among you, you should obey him. For example, in a school, the director, he has the authority, so you should obey the director of the school. In Slovenia, the authority has the government has the authority, so we as Muslims should obey the government.
Torej, Koran tudi uči, da tisti, ki verjame, naj v Boga Allaha in naj v Boga preroka in naj v Boga avtoriteto, katere državi pripada. Oblasti. Ja, naj sledi oblasti, katere države pripada. In če pogledamo na preprostem primeru, tudi v šoli, celotna šola v bistvu deluje po principu ravnatelja. In tudi Slovenci delujemo po zakonodaji naše oblasti, slovenske oblasti.
Prophet Muhammad, he has said that whoever obeys the ruler, the ruler of the country, the government, obeys me. And whoever disobeys the ruler obeys me. So that's why it's an obligation for Muslim to obey the ruler,
torej,
obey the government.
Mohamed je rekel, da kdor sledi zakonom države, sledi njegovim zakonom. In kdor krši te zakone, krši tudi zoper njega. Zato so muslimani v bistvu, se od njih zahteva, da sledijo zakonom države, v kateri so.
Yeah, if you look at, for example, human rights, it's also a huge value we have here in the West, but when we look at Islamic countries, we won't find such value in those countries.
Torej, če pogledamo tudi človeške pravice, je to vrednota, ki je zelo zagovarjana v tem zahodnem svetu. Če pa pogledamo ostale države, tam se tako ne govori tako zelo o tem. Se to ne tako zagovarja.
For example, women rights in Islam, Islam teaches that women, they have in spirituality, they have the equal right as men. So the Quran says whoever does good deeds, whether it be a male or a female, will go to heaven. So the spirituality in Islam is both equal for man and female.
Torej, če pogledamo pravice žensk pri islamu, pri duhovnosti imajo enake pravice. Torej, kdor bo delal dobra dela, naj bo to moški ali ženska, bo šel v nebesa. In to pri duhovnosti, torej ne ločujejo med moškim in žensko.
And I also want to mention that the mother of Jesus, Maria, she has been mentioned in the Quran as an example for all believers. In Islam, we consider the mother of Jesus to be the most righteous women in Islam. So this means that women, they should follow the example of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and try to increase the spirituality.
Torej, v Koranu je omenjena tudi Marija, Jezusova mati, in je predstavljena kot najbolj hvalevredna in vzorna ženska, katero bi morali slediti tudi islamske žene.
There are a few things I would like to say about more about women's rights, human rights. also about this very often asked question about terrorism and its connection with jihad. But unfortunately, I don't have the time. I have written it here, but the time doesn't allow me. So at the end, I just want to make a conclusion.
Torej, rad bi nam še spregovoril o človeških pravicah, tudi o terorizmu, ki je zelo pogosto zastavljeno vprašanje, in o džihadu, ampak mu čas tega ne dopušča, tako da bo zdaj samo na kratko še povzel par točk.
So Islam, you must understand that Islam is a global religion. It's not a specific, it's not one culture or one specific culture. It can be, Islam has many cultures. Islam is practiced in the Middle East. It has an Arabian culture. It is practiced in South Asia. It has an Asian culture, Indonesian culture. It has an African culture. And now also Islam is also in the West. We have more than 45 million Muslims living in the West. And Islam is a religion which can be practiced it's a spiritual religion, and it can be practiced in any culture, in any society. Yeah.
Torej, islam sam po sebi ni kultura, ampak islam je skupek kultur, saj imamo islam praktično po celem svetu. In tudi tukaj v Zahodu se vedno bolj pojavlja, saj imajo, I missed the number, how many?
45 million.
45 milijonov pripadnikov v zahodnem svetu.
So no region, no nation can claim to own Islam. Of course, the Arabs, they have a special attachment to Islam because Islam was founded in Arabia. The Prophet was an Arab. The Quran was revealed in Arabic. That's why they have a special relationship. But
torej, nobena država in nobeno ljudstvo si ne more islama prisvojiti za svojega. Res je, da Arabci se čutijo zelo povezane, ker je islam izhaja od tam, Mohamed je bil Arabec. Vendar, ker je to tako razširjeno po celem svetu, je to v bistvu krivično, da bi naredili tako.
Whenever we see a problem or an issue between the West and a certain Arabic country, for example, Syria or Iraq, we always think it's Islam and the West, but it's not. We don't blame Islam for that.
Torej, vedno, ko vidimo, ko se pojavi kakšen problem med zahodnim svetom in arabskimi državami, takoj pomislimo na islam in da je kriv islam. Vendar ne smemo tako odreagirati.
So on one side we have Islamic values, which some of them which I presented from the Quran and from the life of Muhammad. And then on the other side, we have two examples. We have the Western countries and the Muslim countries. And as how I studied the Islamic values, for me, West is much closer to Islam than certain Islamic countries. So that's why I always say that if you want to know about Islam or you want to study Islam, don't look at Muslim countries or don't look at the actions of Muslims, but look at what the Quran says. Look how Muhammad used to live his life, and then you will see that Islam is very much close to the Western values we have here in the West.
Torej na eni strani imamo islam in na drugi strani imamo države zahodnega sveta in muslimanske države. Če želimo razumeti islam, ne smemo gledati muslimanskih držav, ampak moramo brati Koran, moramo pogledati vrednote, ki jih zagovarja oziroma zapoveduje Koran. In njegovo osebno prepričanje in osebno mnenje je, da je islam veliko bliže, oziroma zahodni svet veliko bliže islamu, kot pa si morda mislimo.
So at the end, I just want to, I'm finished yet, but I just want to say one thing. I'm very grateful for the organizers to give me this possibility and this invitation to speak here about my religion. I think this is a very good step forward towards mutual understanding and mutual respect between different religions. Of course, we have our differences, but we have also many similarities, and I think our similarities, they have the upper hand, and they are much more important. So I think this is a very huge step forward towards mutual respect, and that's why I'm very grateful for the organizers and also for you for listening to my speech. Thank you very much.
Hvala vsem. Zahvalil se je organizatorjem, ki so ga povabili, da je lahko tukaj predstavil svojo vero, svoje prepričanja, in se mu zdi, da je to res ogromen korak k skupnemu razumevanju, k možnosti sobivanja, ker imamo svoje razlike, ampak imamo veliko skupnih vrednot, veliko skupnih smernic in te lahko nadvladajo nad težavami, ki se pojavljajo. Tako da hvala.
Smo prejeli nekaj vprašanj, na katera bojo skušali strokovnjaki iz področja islama odgovoriti. V zvezi z poligamijo v islamu, zakaj je muslimanom dovoljeno imeti več žena? Žena pa ima lahko samo enega moža.
You have to, in order to understand this question, we have to look at the verse of the Quran, what the Quran actually says.
Da razumemo to vprašanje, ta odgovor, moramo pogledati citate iz Korana, kaj je dejansko tam napisano.
In the Quran, it says that, also the context, if you read the context, it says that in a society, if you want to take care of orphans, Islam allows you to take orphans. In the same, yeah.
Torej, v Koranu je zapisano, da v družbi, če želiš poskrbeti za siroto, ti je to dovoljeno, lahko poskrbiš za siroto.
And also, those women who are left alone in society, if you want to take care of those women, you are allowed to take them in your house by marrying them.
Torej, podobna situacija je z ženskami, ki so v družbi, ki so same. Lahko jih vzameš k sebi in to na takšen način, da se poročiš z njimi.
But there is one condition. If a husband cannot treat, if he has, for example, 2 wives or 3 wives, if he cannot treat his wife equally, then he is only allowed 1 wife. So here again, the emphasis on justice is again emphasized on the treatment of all the wives.
Obstaja torej pogoj. Če ima mož več žena, 1, 2, 3, in ne more poskrbeti za vse enako, torej jih ne more obravnavati enakopravno in nuditi enakega udobja, lahko ima samo eno. Torej tukaj se spet poudarja res ta pravičnost, ki je v Koranu.
And I also want to say one thing. Islam didn't allow for men to have more wives because it didn't say that you can have, it didn't increase the number of wives from 1 to 4, but it actually decreased this number from many wives to 4, because if you look at the, yeah.
Torej, rad bi poudaril, da islam ne spodbuja to, da imaš več žena, da imaš 1 do 4, ampak v islamu se je zgodilo to, da so v bistvu iz mnogo žena številko zmanjšali na 4.
So Islam actually decreased the number. If you look at the period in which Islam was founded, or even before it, Islam, I mean, like the period, the time period, people had many wives. Yeah.
Torej, če pogledamo čas, v katerem je bil islam ustanovljen, v tistem obdobju so imeli možje mnogo žena.
And also, for example, this was also very common in the Greek civilization. Also in the Old Testament, it's also mentioned that some holy persons, they had many wives, more than 1 wives. So Islam didn't increase this number from 1 to 4; it actually decreased this number.
Torej, to je bila tudi pogosta praksa pri Grkih, tudi v naši stari zavezi je zapisano, da so možje imeli več žena. In islam je to število v bistvu zmanjšal na 4, torej niso oni uvedli zakona, da ima lahko mož več žena, ampak so to zmanjšali, da lahko ima maksimalno 4.
So to conclude, Islam allowed men to marry more than 1 wife more than one woman, in order to take care of those women who were left alone in society. For example, in wars, men were killed and women were left alone. Orphans were left alone. So Islam emphasized that you should take care of orphans and also those women who are left alone in society. So it's not this concept is not for men to have pleasure. It is actually this is not an extra right for men that they can have more wives, but actually this right is actually for those women who are left alone in society and don't have anyone to be taken care of.
Torej, da zaključi bi rad povzel, da islam želi poskrbeti za žene, ki so ostale same v družbi, da niso same, recimo, ko so vojne, ko jim može pobijajo, ko ostanejo žene in otroci. In rad bi poudaril, da moški nima več žena zaradi svojega užitka, ampak predvsem zaradi te enakopravnosti in pravičnosti, da bi se poskrbelo za žene.
Naj stavek rečem, sem se spomnil na Ezaka Farida, smo se v New Yorku pogovarjali, skupaj smo imeli na predavanje na Columbiji University, musliman iz Južne Afrike in mi je povedal, da je gej, ne. Pa smo se seveda v islamu marsikaj pogovarjali in mi je rekel, veš, če jaz dobro pomislim, je Allah muslimane kaznoval, ko jim je dovolil, da imajo 4 žene. Jaz še ene nočem. Torej, vidite, sam musliman, to je malo obrnil na šalo. Ne? Se pravi, ni enostavno in v teh težkih pogojih, ko so ljudje živeli, se je res rado zgodilo, da so moški umrli in je to bila v bistvu socialna ustanova, ne?
I just want to say 2 things more.
Še 2 stvari bi rad dodal.
When we look at certain Muslim societies, we often see that this right or this permission to have more wives is often misused.
Torej, če pogledamo različne muslimanske skupnosti, je ta pravica do večjih žena pogosto izkoriščena.
Often we see in some certain Muslim countries or some societies where men, they take not only 1, 2, 4 wives, but they take even more wives. And they just take the reason why they want to have more wives is for their own personal desire.
Torej, možje nimajo samo 2, 4 žene, ampak jih imajo še več, grejo čez to mejo, ki je postavljena. In te žene imajo predvsem samo zaradi svojega poželjenja, svojega užitka.
And this is, if we understand the essence and the importance why this permission was given, then we can conclude that their actions is not according to the teachings of Islam.
In če razumemo bistvo tega zakona, tega dovoljenja, vemo, da njihovo ravnanje je v bistvu nasprotju z islamom.
So this, to have more than one wife is not a command, is not an order, it is just a permission with a condition that you have to treat all of them equally.
Torej to, da je lahko imajo več žena, ni zapoved islama, ampak je možnost, je dovoljena opcija, ki pa seveda pride s pogoji.
And if we look in reality, for example, if a person has one wife and he takes another wife, then that person, that man, will have to, how will he treat them equally? He will have to have maybe a double salary, a bigger house, or maybe a second house, maybe a second car for his wife. So it's kind of this condition is not an easy condition to fulfill.
Torej, v realnem življenju, če pogledamo, da ima mož 2 ženi, kaj to pomeni, da mora imeti enkrat večjo plačo, da mora imeti 2 hiši. V bistvu ta pogoj je zelo težko zadovoljiti. Je zelo tak strog pogoj.
Zdaj imamo pa tukaj še eno drugo vprašanje za gospoda Ahmadija. Piše, ukolikor islamska skupnost v slovenskem parlamentu dobi večino, ali bi uvedla šeriatsko pravo ali ne. Torej, če bi muslimani postali večina, če bi njihova stranka v slovenskem parlamentu dosegla oblast, ali bi uvedli oziroma začeli postopek uvajanja šeriatskega prava v državo.
I explained in my presentation that Sharia is a spiritual path towards God. And, yeah, okay.
Torej, v svoji predstavitvi je razložil, da šerija pomeni duhovno pot k Bogu.
And I also explained that the principle to rule over a country is to establish justice. This is one of the principles which the Quran has mentioned.
Razložil je tudi enega izmed glavnih principov Korana, in to je, da nad vsemi vladamo pravično, s pravico.
So, if there are many Muslims in the parliament and they want to impose Sharia law, they are doing this in the opposition of the teachings of Quran. They are not doing this according to the Quran, because the Quran says you are not allowed to force your beliefs on other people. There's no force in religion. And, yeah.
Torej, če bi bilo v parlamentu večina muslimanov, ki bi želeli nad nami z silo uvesti šeriatsko pravo, bi to počeli v neskladju z Koranom, z islamom. Saj je tam napisano, da nikogar ne smemo siliti z nekim prepričanjem, z neko religijo, in vsak ima svobodo do odločanja.
Tako, več kot očitno je, da zanimanje je med nami še dovolj za te teme, ampak hkrati je dejstvo tudi to, da je čas, da gremo k počitku. Jaz bi se lepo zahvalil torej najprej obema našima govornikoma, gospe prevajalki in pa seveda predvsem vam, dragi prijatelji, da ste si vzeli tale večer in ga delili z nami. Hvala lepa in srečno pot domov ter vse dobro še naprej.